everybody, welcome back to Chiquel's YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and I'm here today to give you a review of the wig on my head, of course, because that's what I always do. I generally start with the wig on my head and that's what I'm talking about. But this is actually a really budget-friendly piece. This is Jackson by Noriko. And this is a budget-friendly piece and it's a really lovely piece, and I actually like it more than I thought I was gonna like it. So I'm just really happy to be here to share it with you today. It's funny because what is budget-friendly to one person might not be budget-friendly to another person. Everyone has different ideas of what their budgets are, and I'm just out here doing my best trying to share. So this one I think is budget-friendly, in my opinion. I don't know. Sorry if it's not, but this is going to be under $200 US. So, I mean, that's going to be a little bit better than most options. So I also have this here today in 4 colors. So before I show you all of these colors and talk about Jackson, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see me rambling on as I do about wigs and toppers and tips for wigs and toppers and color comparisons and all sorts of things, alternative hair. Okay, so let me start with the color I'm wearing, and this is called Sugarcane Rooted. So I don't always go and look up exactly what the color is described as, because I kind of like to describe it in my own words sometimes and tell you sort of what I see as opposed to what the brands are telling us, because sometimes what we see is a little different. Anyways, I'm seeing in this some sort of medium neutral blonde, as well as some cooler blonde. You can see right here, some cooler blonde. And then there's also some medium reddish brown that's gonna give this a little bit more warmth. Not sure if you can see it in there, but it is there for sure. So this I find is a nice neutral tone because it does have some warmth in it, yet it is brightened up with these cooler blonde pieces throughout. It's a really pretty color. Of course, also we have a root, and this is gonna look more like a medium brown, medium warm brown root. So again, this is Sugarcane Rooted. Okay, so Jackson by Noriko. Something that Noriko is really good at doing is their permatease. So this is a wig that has a lot of permatease on it, as you can probably see. However, the permatease on this particular piece, I find, in my opinion, is absolutely necessary because it just adds to this style and creates the shape that it so desperately needs to look the way that it's looking. You know what I mean? If we didn't have this lovely lift and volume on the top, then this is just gonna fall flat and it's not gonna look quite right, and it's just not gonna be as show-stopping as it is right now. So is this a piece that I would technically wear every single day all the time? Probably not, and that's because I might feel a little bit too done up because of some of this volume up here. I might feel like it's just a little too done up for your average day. I would want to go for a piece that's a little bit less permatease. However, that does not take away from the fact that this is a really beautiful style and I would absolutely wear this. Okay, even though there is a lot of permatease, like at the crown, Noriko's really good at their nice pillowy soft permatease. So there is a really good chunk of permatease up at the crown. You can definitely play with it. Getting your fingers in there, get more volume, spray it. There's a lot of permatease around the sides of your wefting and then on the top as well. And that's because this is just your standard basic cap with permatease top. So I can really get this looking gigantic, if you will. It can be gigantic. Will I do this? No, I will not. I'm more of a tame kind of a gal. Keep it nice and tame. But if you would like that big voluminous hair, Jackson can do that for you. All right, despite there being a lot of permatease on this, this is not a high density wig. It's gonna look high density because of the volume on top, but watch this. When I put this in a ponytail, you're gonna see, sorry, I've got that tag stuck in here. You're gonna see that there's not a lot of hair. Like it's a tiny little ponytail. So not high density in my opinion. It's pretty low density. It's very nice, soft, fluffy, synthetic fibers. I am loving the feeling of these fibers and the light weight that they have going on with them. I'm not necessarily going to say this is a lightweight feeling piece because there is this Permatease here. It makes it feel a little bit heavier, but it's also not heavy. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. It's not light, but it's not heavy either. So sorry, sometimes I'm all over the place with what I'm saying. Okay, let me show you the cap. So like I said earlier, I have this in 4 colors. So I will show you all those colors in a minute, but I'm just gonna show you the cap on this. I was mentioning how it is just a basic cap. So when I say a basic cap, that basically means that it's all machine sewn. It's not hand tied in any way at all. It's all machine sewn. So this is gonna be our Permatease top. This is where all that magic is happening with that Permatease. And it's gonna be open wefting. So open wefting is great for ventilation and breathability. However, that being said, I'm not going to say that this is a breathable wig because Permatease tops tend to be warmer because there is no ventilation on the top. So I do feel like it could be quite warm on top. Even though it's ventilated and breathable throughout here, it is warm on the top. Okay, we also have our basic ear tabs. These are not velvet. They're just your basic standard ear tab with just rose lace on it. But we do have a velvet nape. It's not extended, just your standard velvet nape with some pull adjusters here. You're also going to find at the front there is a small velvet strip here. So there is no lace front on this. A lace front is something that's going to give you a natural illusion of hair growth from your hairline at the front. This does not have that. So if I were to pull this back, this is what you're going to see. And this is just not okay. I would not recommend you pulling this off of your face. But because this wig has almost these face framing layers in the front, it's gonna help disguise that hairline a bit. This isn't one that I would suggest you tuck behind your ears because you kind of need these in the front to help disguise your hard front here, as opposed to having a lace front where you would be able to pull it off your face. All right, now since this is a Permatease top, you're also not going to get that illusion of hair growth from your scalp. So right in your part line there, let's see if I can get nice and close so you can see. This is what the Permatease is. It's basically that short-haired crimping effect that the wig companies use to give lift and to disguise the part. So you're not going to get any illusion of scalp. However, you are still able to change the part if you want to. So if you don't like that center part, you can change the part. And I would suggest getting a steamer, a fabric steamer, to help train these fibers to go the way you want to. Otherwise, they might want to keep falling in your face. But it can be parted in different ways if you would like. This needs a little bit of help. Okay, let me spin for you so you can see this whole thing. It's a really nice layered look here. This hairstyle kind of reminds me of Jennifer Anniston a little bit. It's kind of Jennifer Aniston with a little bit more poofiness. All right, so the measurements for the front, we're gonna have about 6.9 inches length in the front. From the crown, we're gonna have about 9.1 inches. These are very specific measurements. And then from the nape, so from this point back here, we're gonna have 8.3 inches in length. Now let's talk about the fit of this. So in my opinion, every time I've tried on a Noriko wig, I have found that they fit me really well in the circumference. So because of that, Noriko's wigs tend to fit a little bit smaller than average, especially around your circumference. So I am 20.5 inches in circumference, and this is actually feeling quite snug on me. I have not adjusted the pull straps at all, and it's already at a tightness that I feel comfortable with. I don't think I would even want to bring them in even further. So Noriko, and specifically Jackson, tends to fit smaller in circumference. However, in the rest of the cap, there is a little bit of extra bulk and a little bit of extra room. Doesn't bother me, I'm used to it and I just kind of deal with it. But there is a little bit of extra extra room here. So this would fit an average person, but this would not be good for anyone who's above average. Right now, usually I am not someone who loves basic cap wigs, and that's because I prefer my wigs to have just a little bit more realism in the hairline and in the lace front. That's just what I prefer and what I feel comfortable with. However, when it comes to a wig like Jackson, the style, in my opinion, is just so beautiful that it kind of trumps everything else sometimes. And in order to help me feel a bit better about a Permatease top, I prefer to have rooting in it. So I would choose a color like Sugarcane Rooted because the root, in my opinion, again, helps disguise that Permatease in the part line there. Let me show you what I mean. I know I'm just on a camera, so you're gonna see what you're gonna see. It's not like I'm in real life with you, but I'm gonna show you this in another color. This color is just creamy blonde, and it doesn't have any rooting on it. So I'm gonna put creamy blonde on. It's not my color, but that's all right. And you're gonna be able to see how the Permatease top is just a little bit more visible. I don't know if you can tell, but I can. It just looks a little bit more visible, a little bit more wiggy. Okay, so when I look at this color, creamy blonde, what I see is sort of a medium gold blonde throughout this, as well as some sort of platinum blonde streaks throughout it to lighten it up even more. So it's a nice kind of two-toned blonde color that really blends quite well. All right, now if you're into this creamy blonde color, but you want a root to help make it a little bit more natural looking, or maybe you're a brunette like me and just really prefer roots, then you can try this color here, which is called Champagne Rooted. So this is just a really nice champagne blonde. It does lean a little bit yellowish, but not too yellow. It's kind of like a platinum champagne. And here it is in comparison to creamy blonde. So I find that they have some similar tones in it, but Champagne Rooted does go a little bit more yellow than creamy blonde does. And then of course, Champagne Rooted does have a warm medium brown root to it. All right, so here is Champagne Blonde. All right, and lastly, I haven't forgotten about my brunettes. This is in the color Java Frost. So Java Frost is going to be just a warm medium brown color, and then it does have some reddish brown, almost kind of auburn throughout it, plus a little sampling of kind of a gold color here. It's very lightly sprinkled throughout though. It's generally a warm medium brown color with some reddish brown auburn type highlights and a little bit of golden blonde as well. Let me switch it up for you. Put on Java Frost. Okay, now that I have this color on, I want to show you what a great piece this is for an updo. So I just have a claw here. This tag is always getting it in my business here. Oh no, all stuck. Okay, this is really nice for an updo because of these face framing layers that are going to give it a softer look. Sometimes I find when you have hair just all slicked back, that's when it makes it look wiggy. So when we have these softer face framing layers in the front, then you're not gonna see the hairline and your attention is not drawn to the hairline, which I love. So this is really easy to put back into a claw or a little ponytail, and it looks really elegant. All right, there we go. Isn't she really nice? I just love this look. So in my opinion, Jackson's a pretty versatile piece for something that is low budget and for something that has just a basic cap. All right, I'm pretty sure this is all I have to share with you about Jackson by Noriko. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, make sure you go check it out on our website at chiquel.com. You can also find us at chiquel.ca if you're in Canada, or if you're in Australia at chiquel.com.au. Let me know what you guys think of Jackson in the comments, and if you've ever tried it before, I'd love to know your experience with it. And as always, thank you so much for being here and following along with me. I really appreciate it. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.